Hi, now we're going to do the assignment for week 4. There is some basic understanding of what you have to do with minimal research, and that is that you need to input costs into Excel and you're going to actually analyze those costs. This is only a few lines. So what the premise is that you're going on a cruise. Darn, I wish I could go with you. You're going to have one destination, excuse me, your choice. 2 passengers, you got to go with a friend. And you're going to depart in June, and the reason for June is that cruises are more expensive in June. And you have to have a cruise length of 6 to 9 days. You have to get a price cost on 3 cruises. And you also have to figure out how much it's going to take your flight to get to where the cruise leaves. And so my numbers I'm getting will be made up. I expect your numbers will be much better than mine because they're going to be actually done. All right, so I'm going to go to B1. Remember, there's this base schematic in your assignment. I'm going to go to B1 and type in cruise option number 1, cruise option number 2, and cruise option number 3. Now, don't let this worry you. There's a fix for this. There's a couple of ways, but there's 2 easy ways. You have this fat cursor right here. If you go up here until it gets, just click on it right there and you get that X or plus, left click and hold and drag it out a bit. It makes room for it. What I find is an easier way is you have the fat cursor and you go up and it gets this and then double click. And because sometimes I'm not all that accurate on pulling it out, and double click. Okay, so we have cruise option 1, 2, and 3. What you are required to put here is cruise, the flight, and the total. The rest of the directions say that you need to determine the least expensive, I can't type, the most expensive, and the average total cost. Okay, so again, this needs to be made bigger. You can wrap text if you know how to wrap the text, fine, but if you don't, this will be it. So, all right, I'm going to go and check about going to the Bahamas. And my first cruise option costs me $2,150. The next cruise costs me $1,750. And the next cruise I looked at for pricing is going to cost me $2,500. My flight to get there is going to be $1,250, and then I get a discount somewhere that gets $750 for the flight, and then this next flight is going to cost me $950. Now, you are working with money. The number should be formatted as money. Don't forget to pick up this next row, all right, because the total is going to be in money as well. You can go up here and hit the $sign here, or you can go up to General and hit Currency, your choice. Okay. Now you need to get a total of cruise option 1, the cruise and the flight. This is a very simple thing to do. Go up here, over here to your right, look to your right, and you see this thing with a funky E, and it says Auto Sum. And there's an explanation that says automatically added up. Your total will appear after the selected cells. So this is where we want the answer to be. You have to tell Excel where to put the answer. I want the answer to go right here. So I'm going to click the auto sum. You have the dash line. It also says equal sum, cell B2 and B3. And I just hit enter and it adds it up for you. You can either do the same thing for C and D, or you can go up here to this one, see where that little solid box is right there, and then the cursor changes. You can left click and hold and drag it across and it adds it for you. And if you check up here, cell C2 and C3, yeah, cell C, D2 and D3. Okay, now we need to do least. All right, and it says which cruise option is the least expensive. Be careful because a lot of people get this confused in the future. And I'll tell you, it's also minimum. Most, in other words, for most, it's maximum. And that is where you're going to find part of the formula. So you want to go up here to more functions, go to statistical, and if you scroll down, they're in alphabetical order, which makes it really nice. And you find min, M-I-N, and you click on that, and it's asking you, well, what numbers do you want to put in? All right. So the directions say, use a formula which cruise option is the least or minimum expensive. So that's option 1, 2, and 3. So they kind of guessed it for you that you want to find out about B4, and the colon means through or including, C4 and D4. All right. And so it kind of gives you down here what the formula is going to be or what the answer is going to be. And then you just hit OK. Now most, another word for most is max. So you come up here to more functions, statistical, and you scroll down again. And you click on max. And no, you do not want E4. You want the maximum number for this one, okay, for these. So left click and hold, or just type in the numbers, whatever way you want to do it. It says 3450, and you can ballpark this one. The maximum or the most expensive total, you can see it's 3450. 3450, you can check and make sure you got the right answer, and you hit OK. Now average, and it says in your directions the total average cost of all 3 cruises. Okay, so we're going to go back up to more functions, statistical, click on average, and you want B4 through D4. Do not just click OK. You only want B through D. You don't want this one. So B, C, and D as the average cruise cost. Be careful. This is where a lot of students mess up because they include least and they include most, and you don't want that. You want just the cruises. And so you're going to click here and you're going to be OK. It rounded it for you, and then you're done for this part. Okay. Okay, the next part, it says in the header of your Excel document, include your name and your cruise destination. All right, so a header is just like it was in Word. It's in the top part of the margin. So page layout, page setup. So you want to click here, this little arrow here, and you see it says page, margins, and header and footer. So you click there, and I always like to go to the custom header because you can put something on the left, the center, and the right. I don't care where you want to put it. You can put it right here where Alice Smith, so that's my name. And I told you I was cruising to the Bahamas. All right. And hit landscape. That's why you'll get all the way together in there. Okay, so you can hit print preview. It's going to show you again. That's what it looks like. This arrow takes you back. The last thing is to check your formula. If you hold down the control key and you hit the little, there's a button right next to the one to the left of the one that has like an apostrophe and a little wavy sign. If you hit that, you can see what your formula is if you need to check it. If you hold down the control key and hit that again, you can see it that way. The last thing I want to show you is instead of using the control and what's called the tilde, the little wavy line, you can also go up to formulas over here under formula auditing, and it says show formulas. You hit it. Make sure, please make sure you have the right cells. If you just click on each box, it'll show you what you're including. Okay, and then take it off. If you forget to take it off, that's fine. It'll come into me the right way anyhow. If you have questions, let me know. Okay, bye-bye.